Are arriving after last month's bitter cold, and they're throwing some Missouri residents for quite the loop. The price of natural gas shot up, and now the costs are hitting customers. News 4's Russell Kinsall is watching out for you tonight, finding out how communities are trying to lighten the load.
It was about $100 more than what it usually is.
Heating bills are up all over after bitter cold weather in February kept furnaces working overtime. In Sullivan, the city is the provider of electricity.
February of 2020, the invoice that we received for the cost of energy to the city was around $518,000. This year, the total bill is about $3.24 million.
That's an increase of 6 times the normal cost, but the city has chosen to keep bills steady and not pass along the increased cost.
We've built up a reserve for emergency purposes and also for doing infrastructure improvements. The bill that we received, the $3.2 million bill, we are going to pay it from the city's reserve funds.
City Administrator J.T. Harding says the city believes it will be able to recoup those costs.
I think that's a good idea to do that for us, and hopefully that works.
I think that's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad they chose to do that instead of passing that on to me.
Towns across the region that provide electricity or gas service to residents are seeing huge spikes for February heating bills, but are taking steps to avoid making customers pay the cost all at once. The city of Herman is also using a reserve fund to cover the increased costs. New Haven will allow customers current on their bills to pay out February's cost over the next year. In Cuba, the cost will also be spread out, so customers will only see about a $50 a month increase. Cities say they think they can prove they were victimized and get their money back.
FERC, the Regulatory Commission, has been asked, and letters have been signed by our Missouri representatives to do an investigation to see if there's any kind of market manipulation or any kind of price gouging.
I reached out to the Missouri Attorney General's office to ask if they are preparing to open an investigation into potential price gouging. They tell me right now they're reviewing consumer complaints and monitoring the situation. In Sullivan, Russell Kinsall, News 4.